What's up, chatters? Make sure to hit the bell so you know when I go live, and like, comment, follow, and subscribe, because guess what? It's free. So let's get into the weekly recap. I don't know if you guys were aware or not, but the missing young man from the Carnival cruise ship, ex-wife is speaking out, and she states that in her mind, she believes that he's still alive. Now, what I didn't know is that he was on probation for a domestic violence situation that took place between the two of them. And of course, there's a mugshot that TMZ posted of him. But I find it really ironic that the ex-wife is speaking out, and for whatever reason, she believes that he's still alive. No evidence supports that, but that's her statement. In other news, I don't know if you're aware that Tia Mowry and her husband Corey divorced. They've been together for quite some time. I stumbled upon Jay DeBlack's videos. It was a suggested channel for me, and I was a little disappointed, and I find him to be socially irresponsible, and I don't know what direction his channel goes into. But he basically insulted women of a certain age divorcing their husbands and stating they're for the streets and you should have just stayed with your husband. Even reported, I believe it was 40-year-old heifers, sort of thing. And, to Jay, I'll say this, even with your large platform, the human body changes every 7 to 10 years. Our cells change. So we change as human beings. We don't know what took place in their marriage because they still are very respectful of one another. We can speculate, but we don't know. We don't know the reason why she divorced him. But to basically state that a woman is for the streets and she never wanted to be married simply because she made statements stating that, the dating pool is not great. We don't laugh at that, and this is why people stay in situations so long, because of the ridicule. We don't know what happened in their situation. We never will. And that's just that. So I just find your commentary on the situation to be socially irresponsible. And that's my take. So in other news, Joe Budden and Drake. I don't even know if I want to call him Drake after this read, because, honey, get into what Drake had to say to Mr. Joe Budden himself. Because if this is not a read, I don't know what is. I would hate to be the woman dating him and he sends you one of these messages because, hold on, listen. He says, "You retired and we never hung up your jersey. We don't even remember your number. We know you for doing this. You withdrew from rap, not because you accomplished all you need to. It's because it wasn't working for you. I never want anybody in the generations to think that the whole everybody's entitled to their opinion is a real thing." Honey, Drake had time today. So let's get into this scum and really look at his face, because I like to put an emphasis on people like this, because this officer in Atlanta, this police officer that took an oath, a sworn oath to protect and to serve, used his privilege to sodomize a 16-year-old child that went through a car accident. So Officer Anderson responded to the crash, and for whatever reason, instead of contacting medical personnel, he waited until he was satisfied. Okay? He waited until he was pleased sexually, because that's what scum does. That's what monsters do. That's what men like this do. So to his family and friends, I wouldn't protect him. I wouldn't come up to bat for him. I wouldn't support him. This is a disgusting act. He needs to be under the jail, and that's just that. So I have contemplated, and I've been waiting to be proven otherwise. So in case you don't know, Darius Cooks has also been nicknamed as Darius Crooks because of various reasons. Do the research yourself, between the lawsuits and news reporters showing up to his home and all of this. I was a little taken aback when his collard greens had Stella Rose and fennel put into it, but Darius is not a taught chef in any culinary institute. He's self-taught, which is okay. And I was rooting for Darius because when it comes to this area, it was not diverse at all. Martha Stewart had her title for quite some time. So when I started seeing diversity in this field, with the cooking field, whether it's heterosexual men, women, homosexual, minorities, it was great, because we didn't have that before. It was literally saturated, and Martha Stewart had her reign for quite some time. But with Darius, I'll say this, even despite the lawsuits and things of that nature, I find his page to be socially irresponsible. Even as a heterosexual male, I don't think it's appropriate to refer to women as this thing, or even post commentary on if an outfit is appropriate with a young child. I just find his commentary and his approach to be extremely arrogant and boisterous. I really do. And now he's decided, for whatever reason, to review minority-owned restaurants, and he's getting a lot of flack for that. And I can see why, because Darius, and what he puts out, he just appears to be petty and messy to me. And I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. And I've been trying to really get into his commentary, but he just has this arrogant air about him that I can't necessarily support. Now, his dinners do sell out. They're $289, where he does, I believe, a 7-course meal. Some people say it's disgusting. Some people swear by it. But regardless, he's getting a coin. But one thing about Darius is he's going to make it known that he's getting a coin. He's going to post his sales. He does sell Dutch ovens for about $289. And that's great, especially if you're in that tax bracket to if you can afford that. But there's something about Darius that I can't get with and I can't support. I don't like the arrogance. I don't like the slander when it comes to these minority-owned restaurants, because we know that it's very hard for minorities to get in certain fields. His reviews to me seem petty, and it can destroy someone's business. I can see if he was coming in the situation honest and humble and unbiased, but not everyone has the same taste buds. Guess what? There are some people that do like charcoal meat. There are some people that do not like the fancy meals with the hollandaise sauce or whatever have you. So to go on your large platform and to down certain restaurants, especially small restaurants in this climate, I don't know. I just find Darius socially irresponsible with his content and the way that he presents it. He can potentially be a very nice guy. He truly could, but it's what that he puts out that makes me say, I question if some of these accusations about you are true. I don't like the arrogance. I don't like the posting of how much money you make. I don't like referring to women as this thing. And I really don't like small businesses being attacked, because they can't sustain financially if someone with large platforms attacks their food. Anything could happen. So to each his own. That's just my commentary on this. Remember, always draw your own conclusion, because we have our own thoughts and opinions. I can value your opinion even if it differs from mine. So make sure to follow me on Facebook, follow the Pink Tongue, and as always, it's a pleasure.